welcome to another episode of How to Do Atkins Low Carb. My name is, of course, Kent Altena, and today's episode has to come out of a few of the personal events that may have happened or comments I may have received in my video sessions. And this may not be the most popular video I've ever done because sometimes responsibility is a difficult thing to take. You know, not always is it the world out to get us. Sometimes we actually are responsible for our own success or indeed failure on the plans that we've chosen. And today's episode is, why do people fail on the Atkins diet? Certainly there's a lot of people who were successful on the Atkins diet. I've made a video on that. Well, here's the other side of the coin. Why have I seen people not be successful on the Atkins diet? And the number one primary reason that I've seen people not be successful on the Atkins diet is that they treat it indeed like a fad diet. They live up to its reputation. They believe they know what it is, and they attempt to lose weight as quickly as possible by any means as possible. They potentially restrict their carbs back to zero, they drop all the weight that they need, and then they get off the diet. They use it as a means to lose the weight. They don't use it as a lifestyle change. That leads to the second reason is they never read the book. They believe they know what the diet is, rightly or wrongly, and they carry it out. At that point, it no longer becomes the Atkins diet. It becomes the John Smith diet or the Jane Doe diet. And more often than not, these perceptions of what the Atkins diet is what the media has portrayed it as: bacon and eggs and cheese all day long. What you might not have heard in that sentence is vegetables. I've seen this more often than not in all the people who've asked me questions is, this is what I'm eating, why am I not losing weight? And the first thing I have to say is, where are all the phytonutrients that Dr. Atkins talked all about in his book? The leafy, starchy, non-starchy vegetables that you're allowed to eat on every single face. Why are you eating a cup of heavy cream per day when you're only allowed 1 to 2 tablespoons? Why are you having 8 ounces of cheese when you're only allowed 3 to 4? All these certain things that are promoted in the book, these people just don't seemingly want to read the book, nor do they want to go to the website and read anything off the website, or do they want to follow any of the induction videos that I've certainly done. There's certainly a preponderance of evidence or a preponderance of information out there on how to do Atkins diet correctly, but they want to do it as they did. And to be truthful, I was one of those guys too. The first day I was on the Atkins diet, I ate all the wrong things. I've talked about this many times. And then I sat down, read the book, and figured out, hey, guess what? The rules are there for a reason. The induction acceptable food list is there for a reason. I got to follow it. The third reason is that they know what the book says. However, they believe they know more than what the book says. So when the book says, stay away from aspartame, they think, well, perhaps I can eat aspartame from day one. Or, book says I should be eating green, leafy, non-starchy vegetables. I'm not going to do that because I don't like them. I was one of those guys when I first started. So the book certainly tells you a whole lot of things, but they take it, either they do hyper Atkins and drop it to 0 carb because they figure they want to, and might be more successful, or they go the opposite direction. Dr. Atkins says 1 to 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. They say, well, if a little is good, maybe a little bit more is fine as well. And again, at that point, no longer are your results guaranteed because you're following your own plan. And if there was a John Smith diet book, well, if John Smith was your name, you would know that plan was specifically geared for you. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having a John Smith diet or a Jane Doe diet. Just realize that you're at that point responsible for your own success or failure. You can't fall back to the success that the Atkins diet has said. The fourth one, like I said, if a little is good, then none must be better. Going back to the 0 carb. Just had that case the other day. Woman was having no more than 5 to 10 carbs per day, and she's been doing this for 5 to 8 months. and was wondering why her weight loss had eventually stopped. I said, well, you do realize, one, you don't need to be on induction for those 5 to 8 months. You can eventually expand your eating into the ongoing weight loss phase and the pre-maintenance phase as you get closer and closer to goal. However, this person never said that. She was hard set. 5 to 10 carbs per day, because I'm going to hard regulate how many carbs I'm eating. And that was what the book was never about. The book was about understanding one's relationship with carbs, making it a lifestyle, certainly restricting a lot of the whites in one's diet, but it wasn't about making it zero and keeping it at zero. The other thing I've seen a lot in the diet is that these people start reading from body lifters, and they start talking about a cyclical ketogenic diet. That 1 week I'm going to do high carb, and the next week I'm going to do low carb, and the next week I'll do high carb, and then fourth week I'll do low carb again. So they go from highs to lows to highs to lows. And the reason I never think that will particularly work well as a lifestyle change, one, who can maintain that lifestyle change for a long period of time? Any successful weight loss means long-term changes. Well, I don't know about you, but trying to follow this sort of pattern, this sort of roller coaster, trying to figure out some days I forget what day it is, let alone trying to figure out if this is a high carb week or a low carb week. So eventually you'll gravitate towards the eating plan that you particularly like more, whether that be the high carb foods or the low carb foods. You may see better performance, it may track better, but I don't see how it can be a long-term successful. Also, if one is particularly an athlete, I'm thinking about my running sorts. Are you only supposed to schedule your races on high carb weeks, or do all your long runs on high carb weeks, and then low carb weeks you do some minimal amount? I don't know. It just ends up being super complex, and I'm for keep it simple, stupid. So, and another one, they believe they cheat due to a special occasion. It's a vacation. It's a failure to plan for this technical conference. It's road trip that literally you're 300 miles from any food, and the only food ever created was this Twinkie alongside the road, and you had to have the Twinkie. So you cheated. Sometimes it happens. Never happened to me, but sometimes it does, in which you get yourself in a failure to plan situation and actually have to do something else. At that point, that's not the problem. That's not how you fail the Atkins diet. How you fail the Atkins diet is you get to this situation and then you'd simply, well, I failed, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up for the day and then eat high carb, and then one day becomes 2 days, 2 days becomes 3 days, and 3 days becomes a week, and a week becomes a month. It's not the original cheat that was the failure. Obviously it was a failure to plan, but people are human. It's a failure to bounce back from the cheat. It's a failure to recognize, hey, you know what, I was human and I didn't do the right thing, but now I'm going to start doing the right thing. Now I'm going to make the right choices. So everyone may have a failure to plan from once in a while, but it's the decision point to keep failing consistently after that that ends up making someone potentially not a long-term success. And the final reason people tend to fail on the Atkins diet is they get frustrated with a weight loss hesitation or a stall and just call it quit. I haven't lost weight in three weeks. This isn't worth it. I'm just going to give up. I made already a couple videos on this. Why am I not losing? What to do about a stall? I'd urge each and every one of you to take a look at those videos, because certainly, as I just talked to someone yesterday, starvation mode dieting puts you into a place in which you're not going to be successful because you keep running your body into starvation mode, and finally the body says, fine, you want to make me live on concentration camp calories and still work out each and every day? Eventually I'm not going to show you the results that you want. I'm not going to give you the brain acuity that you desire. I'm going to start shutting my body processes down to minimal persistence levels, and eventually I hope you get the clue to start eating more. Now, They get frustrated with weight loss hesitations and then just simply say, oh, this isn't worth it, and then cheat. Then hop off the diet. And you know what? Sometimes when they hop off the diet, you know what happens? The body finally, they start eating enough calories at that point, and then they finally start losing again and say, well, that just proves that what I was doing was wrong. No. You changed a number of different variables. You changed the amount of carbs that you're eating, but you also changed the number of calories you were eating. Perhaps you should have been eating at the higher calorie level the whole time, and it wasn't so much that eating 300 carbs was what made you lose. It was eating potentially 500, 600, 1,000 more calories that made you lose that weight. Kind of that whole breaking out of the calorie in, calorie out model, because you can, like I said, trash that into the wall. Well, my point of this video was not so to make people feel bad on why they stopped losing or why they hopped off the Atkins diet or why to cast them as a failure. No, that was not my reason for making this video. The reason for making this video was that hopefully by understanding why people in the past might not have been successful, that you can start planning for how you are going to do something different, how you are going to be successful on the Atkins diet, how you're going to make sure that you do plan for all situations, and if you don't, if you do have a stumble, hop right back on that wagon and get back to losing the way you don't. Indeed, make it a lifestyle change. Read the book. Know the science on why this is indeed working for you. Well, that concludes another episode on How to Do Atkins, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. I've had a lot of subscribers in the last few weeks. I'm up to 2,300 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. I could never have done this without you. I'm making these for all the people who have just subscribed as well as those that have been with me forever. So if you have any further comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And thanks, guys, for being around. Talk to you guys later. Bye.